I figured I'd just give up this information. I'm on the side closest to the street, about framing this wall. I tacked my bottom of my stud in, came up a fat 1/4 inch short. It's to be expected. It's wet, you know, and this thing's been getting wet all morning, so it is what it is. But even if it was straight, my mark's on the inside. When I step up in there, it's going to push it down, and then I'll be off my mark again. So it's easy. I just put a freaking jack on it so I can step on the inside, and I can measure everything off the floor, and I don't have to be on a ladder to do all of this measurement. But after I get this in and jack it up, get my top on the mark, and I nailed pin nails. I put 3 on each 1.5 inch side, 3 or 4 right there, 3 right there on the back side. Don't go right there and try to nail. You ain't gonna hit nothing. But I do a couple from the bottom going into the rafter, through the stud into the rafter, and then I nail back down from the rafter into the stud. There's enough to hold it. We don't really care about that much. The sheeting's gonna hold all this together later. But that's lined up for these marks right here. I just hook my tape on the back side of this, pull 24. Same thing right there. I measure way up high, pull 24 on the back side, so I can that gets me a long point measure. This one, it's a little bit harder because you're on a short point. You got a 2-inch gap right there between your tape and your freaking tussle. Ain't good, you know. And about to set these little short studs, and I'm about to sheet this gable also. It's pretty easy. There's really not much to this. I'm starting to see my wall over. That's a little board I got leaned up. I thought my wall was starting to separate. I didn't like that. I was about to have to jack the front of the shed up. But that's just the boards, the little boards that are leaned up right there. Some gaps. Okay. About to frame this up, and what's the next thing after this? I guess roof sheeting comes next, yeah. Alright. I'll probably jack. Yeah, I gotta jack the shed up before I do that, really. I need to. It won't line up right if I don't. It'll have a sway in it. Right now, well, it doesn't really have a sway in it, because the walls themselves are kind of, you know, self-supporting because they're already framed and sheeted when I lift them. It's not a bad idea to get something underneath at least the centers, even if it's just temporary. When you sheet the roof, it'll make your sheeting go easier, most likely. The little sways, I assure you, that wall swaying some, you know. If we build it completely like this with it swaying, it's going to be swaying forever. If anything, that's why I crown studs up too, or put the highest crowns in the centers. It crowns the center up a little bit more. But if anything, I would aim for freaking high right there at the time I put sheeting on. I don't even care if one corner of the shed's up or both corners, you know. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. You're better off high right there than low when you run that first course of sheeting. That way, everything will already be high in the center when you're nailing off your sheeting. Gravity, you're not stopping gravity. You know, you're just not. That's like trying to stop the freaking tides. It's not happening. You know, well, at least not in the real world. Not in my world, at least. But yeah, you're better off probably having those a little bit high right there in the center, right there, a little bit high right there before you sheet the roof. You'll have better results.